Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Movie Couple Live. We are back from day one of D23. I bet you guys didn't think we were going to go live because honestly, it was planned, but we didn't know that panel, which is what we're about to talk about on this live, is the Disney Animation, Pixar, and Walt Disney Studios live action showcase. We just didn't realize it was going to be
3.5 hours.
So 3 hours.
3 hours.
It was supposed to only be 2. It was scheduled for 3:30 to 5:30.
And we went until we went until 6.
Like 6:30 or something like that. It was a lot, but thank you guys for coming in this late with no notice at all. And with that said, let's go ahead and talk about all the things we got to see. We're gonna go in order of the way. You know what? Before we get into it, this was Dustin's first D23 ever. It's my second one. My first one was back in 2019, and when I walked into just the convention hall alone, and this is after having gone to Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, Dragon Con, TIFF, which is kind of different, so I don't know if I should lump that in, WonderCon, and I've done some of the cons. I haven't done all of them, but I've done a lot.
Yeah, you've done a lot more cons than I have,
which is crazy. And I was blown away at just the scale and the showmanship of the convention floor alone. And their presentations are like on another scale. But this was Dustin's first year, and I kept on talking up D23. Did I hype it up too much, or did it meet your expectations?
No, I think this is actually, you did a very accurate representation of what D23 is going to be. It was, I do have to admit, one of the big differences between the convention floor on D23 as opposed to, say, Comic-Con or Celebration, Star Wars Celebration, is the fact that there are a lot more activations as opposed to like individual vendors. So it was that one I was expecting, more places to buy things, more places to where they have different merch, different vendors. But this one, it has just huge activations where you get to see costumes, you get to see interviews, you get to see behind the scenes stuff. They have a lot more of that. And of course, my favorite thing on the convention floor was the Disney Parks and Experiences, and it was like on the billboard, it had Dream on there. I can't remember exactly what it says because I was so
you'll
excited.
See it in on the Movie Couple Instagram. You'll start seeing a lot of reels and posts done by this one here, because I can't handle everything, so it's good to have like another pair of hands that can post. So the signal was not ideal, nor was the surrounding for like a voiceover for real. So he's gonna
do a whole bunch more. And if you guys are actually if you guys are following me on Instagram, I accidentally put one of the reels that I meant for the Movie Couple on my Instagram. I was like, I was on the wrong one.
Yeah.
So right. And then of course I didn't have a chance to do any more. So I'm gonna edit some of them, put them up on the Movie Couple Instagram so you guys can see some of the cool stuff that we saw.
Yes. And with that, let's talk about it, because then after this we got to eat dinner, we got to take care of Navi,
and tomorrow's an early morning because
tomorrow's Marvel,
the big panel,
Marvel and Lucasfilm.
We have to be ready and checked in by, we want to be there at like 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
We want to be in line before 8.
We're gonna basically, without giving you guys too much detail where we're gonna be, we are getting there early AF. So we are gonna have to get our sleep, because last night I think I only got like 4 hours of sleep anyways. And there's videos that I still have to edit from today to finish filming. So with that, let's go ahead and dive into what we learned, everything we learned from today's panel showcase. All right, and with that said, starting in order, let's go ahead and start with Hocus Pocus 2. Good, I spelled it right. Like when I was writing in the article, I wrote Focus Hocus, and I'm like, what am I saying right now? By the way, there is a website now. It is now live. We've been working on this for about a month or so, so it's still a little bit of a work in progress, but we launched it just in time for D23. Themoviecouple.com is where you will find our website and the latest updates to all the happenings
So
I
go on
swallowed wrong.
over to themoviecouple.com because we are going to be
Sorry.
posting a lot of stuff on our website there, which is super cool. And all of the
Sorry.
hard work was done. Wendy was generous by using the we noun in there, but it really was 90%, 99% Wendy
There's a lot
that
of
did
screaming at the
all
computer screen.
So we will be posting a lot of stuff there as well. But yes, Hocus Pocus 2 was the first thing that they talked about. And we got, they talked a little bit about it, how they're,
Real quick, sorry, I don't, because I know you're not looking at the screen. Zorg, the Dark One, thank you so much for your super chat. Says, hi, Wendy and Fernando.
Hi, how's it going?
Fernando.
Today, I
You're
am Fernando.
For the next minute, you are Fernando. All right, let's talk about Hocus Pocus 2.
Yep. We actually got two new things with this. One, of course, we got a brand new trailer that did, I think it was only for us, right?
Hold on a second. We're going to put pause on Hocus Pocus real quick because I said I wanted to start at the very beginning and then I forgot that we saw something really cool in the very beginning. They showed basically a sizzle reel of all of the animation stuff,
Oh, yeah,
the
that's
Pixar
right.
stuff, the live action films. So all the way from the classics to, you know, what they were putting out up to the recent years and
Made me
recent
cry a
months.
little.
It was the first time Dustin saw anything. Like, I was expecting it because that's how they start. But it's bigger. Like, the way they present is bigger than even Comic-Con Hall H, which is already pretty big. They have musical performances. And when you have a lot of talented actors and actresses who are musically talented, like Cynthia Erivo, who you can see in Pinocchio as the Blue Fairy, she opens the entire showcase with her rendition of When You Wish Upon a Star. There's a tiny snippet on our Twitter, on my Twitter actually, but I'll post a slightly longer, not the full version, but a slightly longer version of it later to YouTube. So that's how we kick things off.
And they also showed us a brand new, you know, that opening scene that they have in front of all of their Disney movies where it's where it has Tinkerbell going over. It is a new CGI going through, like there's a train that passes by, you go through the smoke, you go through a waterfall up and over, and then
like
it does
going through like a Thomas
arch.
Kincaid painting.
Yeah, kind of. You kind of go through the Disneyland Thomas Kincaid painting.
Yeah.
But now they have a new version of that. I don't know exactly what that's called. The opening.
Yeah.
Or the
like their new logo essentially. That'll be, you know, playing ahead of any projects. Elliot is asking, is the new Disney logo only for the 100th anniversary, or is going to be current moving forward? Looks magical. We're not sure. I feel like we can probably see it for the unforeseeable future because it's a really cool looking logo. And if you notice the 00 and 100, the way it appears, it kind of does the infinity thing.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right.
Because Disney is forever.
Forever. Now.
But now time to go for amok.
We are talking about Hocus Pocus 2, which is coming to Disney Plus this fall. So the original the Sanderson sisters are back.
Mm-hmm.
And anything you wanted to add?
Oh no, I just love the way that they presented this because unfortunately our three main stars, the Sanderson sisters, could not be there at D23. So what they did was they filmed something and they were actually doing magic that actually involved the audience and also the announcer.
The stage and it was
MC.
really, really cool because it's Disney magic.
Mm-hmm. They were like Hocus Pocus and the lights started to dim and went and exploded.
And I think by now, whatever trailer that they chose to drop have dropped already. So I'm not sure if they actually did drop a Hocus Pocus one. Obviously, we're not doing reactions because we already saw it. But it essentially, and it's not the first trailer. We've seen a trailer before. But it actually, what's interesting is it showed the origin of the sisters.
Yes. I liked it too because, we're going to get a little bit more backstory. And we did actually find out that one of the girls in the trailer, one of the main three girls that it's following is actually becoming a witch.
Like when she turns 16, she gets the book, and what's really cool is a fan favorite character makes a return at the end of that. And I don't know why I wasn't expecting it, but in a way I should have.
Yeah.
Because it's a fan favorite. So that was really cool, and that is coming out super soon, which is why I think they put that at the very beginning. And then next up, we have Disenchanted. Actually, we have
a super chat.
We have a super chat. Can you read that while I bring up the other thing?
From CJ Rebirth.
Hello!
CJ, how's it going?
I am in shock over the whole panel and what they showed. So nice to have met you guys there. Yay!
They showed a lot of
They
cool
showed
stuff.
a lot, and I hope you had fun watching all the D23 stuff and taking all of that in. Let's go ahead and thank you for your super chat, of course. Let's go to Disenchanted is the next thing they announced, which we knew was coming.
Mm-hmm.
But they had the original cast back.
Yeah, they all brought them all out on stage. And shoot, who were the two that came in late?
Oh, it was Maya Rudolph and Amy Adams. They were running late because they were actually at the park. So they came in like popcorn bucket, theme park gear, bubble wand, like an Elsa one that they try to give to Idina.
And then they were like, "It can't turn it off." And it was really funny.
It was really funny.
Cute.
Yeah.
And it really makes me want to go back and watch the original and be ready for this next the continuation of this story.
Yes. So in this one, obviously everybody's, some time has passed. So Giselle and Robert have started a family, which means she has a baby.
Yep.
As well. And I guess they're looking for like a not a fresh start, but just maybe a fresh start. So they moved to this new place, but it's really not how she pictured it at all. Let's see. So, and she also makes a wish. Giselle makes a wish. And it doesn't go the way she had hoped, because I think wishing, you have to really watch your wording.
Isn't that always the way?
Just don't wish.
Just
pass it on to somebody else.
Be like, you know what? I just want like something simple. Give me a ham sandwich, really good ham sandwich.
The most delicious ham sandwich I have tasted so far.
Mm-hmm.
And we will have new music, because it is a musical, from Alan Menken and Stephen Short.
And I'm just excited to see Idina Menzel, to see the old cast again. And it's such a cute movie.
It is really, really cute. I really liked the first one. I thought it was really charming. And I can't wait to see all the characters back and see what they've been up to and the trouble they get into with this one. All right, up next, we have Peter Pan and Wendy. So I straight up forgot that this was coming out.
Exactly.
When they announced it, I was like, oh, right. Yeah.
With Jake Gyllenhaal. Not Jake. No, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jude Law is our Captain Hook.
Jake Gyllenhaal is in another
that we'll talk about later.
But yeah, and then Jude Law is Captain Hook, and I'm like, that's going to be a really good casting. And it seemed like they're going to focus a lot more on Wendy, and also the past history between Captain Hook and Peter Pan. And
love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks kind of dark in some some parts. In fact, the first look we got to see, excuse me, we kind of all know how Wendy gets to Neverland, but in this sequence, she wakes up on the beach and it looked like she was shipwrecked, which we know she wasn't, because she would have thought happy thoughts and flew there.
Yeah.
But she ends up on the beach. She doesn't know where John and Michael are. So she's looking for them. She's a little frantic, and she comes across the Lost Boys. Oh, you know what? Wasn't she shot
later
down?
on in the trailer? You do find out that they were getting shot out of the sky. And
what are those things? Hold on a second. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
What's going on? Sorry, we're having technical difficulties at the moment.
Oh, there's crap on the wall.
Uh-oh. Well, here, why don't you and
no, it's fine. Well, I'll get it later.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like a bunch of bugs on the wall, but it's not.
That would have been weird.
All right, sorry. Continue, please.
But yeah, we find out that they get shot out of the sky. We find I like the fact that they are focusing a lot more on Tiger Lily. They're going to be focusing more on Wendy. I love the fact that we're the Lost Boys, but some of you are girls. So, and I really like the direction that this is going. However, I am a little nervous, simply because there's a lot of Peter Pan remakes out there that have been really bad. Oh my gosh, with Hugh Jackman.
Terrible.
Ooh, that was
like
bad.
It. Not for us. But this one, it looks pretty intense. There's a lot of iconic scenes, like the group jumping off the clock off Big Ben to
Mhm.
go to Neverland. And the scene between Peter and Wendy and Captain Hook look pretty intense. This is also not a theatrical release. This is going to be on Disney Plus.
Yes, and yeah, theatrical. It's also live action. I think Star Drew was asking whether it's live action or animation. And yes, it is live action.
It is live action. Actually, everything that we talked about just now, Hocus Pocus 2, Disenchanted, and Peter Pan and Wendy, I believe it's all Disney Plus, because according to my notes, then I jump into theatrical titles.
Yes.
So that is the case. And let's go ahead and jump right into the next one. The Haunted Mansion. We were cautiously optimistic about this one. It is one of our favorite rides.
Yes.
At Disney. There's a lot of, fans who, whenever Disney does any sort of like exclusive merch drop, these people go and wait forever, like overnight, to shop the merch.
We like Haunted Mansion and we buy Haunted Mansion stuff, but there are people who buy everything that's Haunted Mansion.
They live Haunted Mansion.
To where it puts our fandom to shame.
Yeah, like we don't really, we have a lot of Haunted Mansion stuff, but it's like pale in comparison to some. So this film is going to be a theatrical release. It is from director Justin Simien, who introduced the film on stage. And we get a first look. Basically, we know that the Haunted Mansion has a couple of new tenants, and it's Rosario Dawson's in the film. And there's something not uneasy about the mansion, if you will. So there's a couple of the characters that kind of come in and help them settle
they bring in like an exorcist. They bring in a spiritual person. They bring in
a priest, right?
Yeah, a priest who's being played by what's his name? Wow,
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson. Thank you.
Owen Wilson. Okay. So I will say, when they showed not just the exterior of the mansion, but we go inside, it looked as I hoped it would look. So, we want to see, obviously, reflect of the ride, because it is what it's based on.
Yeah.
But they also made it a lot more intricate and cool. Like, we got a tiny, tiny glimpse at the stretching room. And I say a glimpse because we just saw the poster of the older lady that's sitting on the tomb, but it's not stretched out. We didn't see it moving. It's a very recognizable poster. And since that is so iconic, I imagine they will definitely have that effect in the movie, but they didn't show it to us in the first look. Let's see what else. They do find a hidden room. And that goes to show like how expansive and weird this mansion is.
Mm-hmm. It goes seance room.
It goes underground. It is the seance room. And then we get a sneak peek, throughout the first look at fan favorite Haunted Mansion characters, like the bride, like the Hatbox Ghost, the
hitchhiking ghost.
Yes, the hitchhiking ghost. That's all I really recognized. And the dueling gentlemen.
Oh yeah,
I saw them. I don't know if that's like what they're called, but that's what I'm calling them because they duel. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that might be the duel, like Aaron Burr, Alexander Hamilton.
Really?
I think that might be who they are, but I don't know if that's really true. I don't think. I don't know. I might be wrong. Someone in the chat, if you know who the dueling ghosts are in the Haunted Mansion, let us know in the chat.
Yeah, and we definitely noticed some creep factors.
Yeah.
In the trailer, so I hope that it's a nice balance between like a little bit of that humor, and because it's Haunted Mansion, it's got to be creepy and a little bit scary. I hope. So
I really do hope that they bring in more of that aspect. The fact that it is spooky, it is creepy, it is there are going to be parts that little kids are probably going to like and cover their eyes.
Yeah.
But not so much to where they like run out of the theater screaming.
Yeah. So it actually looked better than I expected.
Yes.
Which is really, really good. And at the end, to close out that segment of the presentation, they actually had a Doom buggy, which is the ride vehicle, come on stage and backwards, and then they turn it around, and it was the Scream Queen herself, Jamie Lee Curtis, on stage, who is going to be playing Madame. Who else? Madame Leota. Who else would she play? So that was a really fun way to wrap up that segment. And let's go into this next title, which I did not expect. Had not heard anything about this. I don't know how Like,
I
do
don't know
we
how-
need like the origin story? Especially, I know a lot of people didn't love the Lion King live action. Live action.
Live action.
People get mad when I say live action.
Photorealistic.
Yes, people get upset. They're like, it's not live action. I'm like, well, yes and no. You know, like it looks life realistic, photorealistic. So this is called, as you can tell by the title right here, Mufasa the Lion King.
And there's something that we find
Barry
out
Jenkins
in
is the
this.
director, which that, if anything, should get you excited. It's Barry Jenkins.
Yeah. But something that we learned is that Mufasa was not actually born.
I thought that was Scar.
Well, I mean, and they're supposed to be brothers. Maybe.
But he said not of royal blood.
Yeah, that he is actually an orphan. And they were going to tell this it seems like the story, like he gets adopted. Maybe he gets adopted before Scar is
am I
born.
wrong? Is it really that? Okay.
I think so. Is that Mufasa was adopted.
All right. All it says is a prequel to The Lion King, which won't be released until 2024. But they, showed us a little sneak peek, which is so it's in a flashback, and we have narrators through the story, Rafiki, Timon, and Pumbaa, and they tell the story of Mufasa to a young lion cub, and Mufasa reveals the rise of one of the greatest kings of Pride Land. What I thought we saw, I gotta look for clarification. They don't start at Pride Rock. They start where the coyotes are.
No, the hyenas.
The hyena. Wrong animal.
But yeah, and
hyenas are.
And you actually see some of the hyenas walking around in this trailer.
Yes. So that's why I thought that was a Scar being washed away in the flash flood, washed over into and holding onto that piece of driftwood for survival. And when he got washed up, there was another cub that greeted him that said hello. Like, it doesn't make, but you know what? I might have to double check.
Yeah,
our sources, and I might have to do some editing on my
if
on
that
the website.
Is true, if they're actually going to have where Mufasa isn't the blood, isn't like blood royalty,
then that explains Scar.
Why Scar would be upset, but also why would they give it to Mufasa instead of Scar, especially if that other cub that meets Mufasa while he's floating down the river is Scar. That means he was alive and probably the next in line for the throne before Mufasa came around. So what happened? Was the king at the time kind of like, I'm sorry, Scar, but you crazy and we ain't giving you the throne?
Yeah, so I gotta do some research on that. So, but if you guys know, let us know in the chat. And to answer Bree's question, is it still Billy and Seth Rogen for Oopsie? For Timon and Pumbaa, it sure sounded like it. And I don't.
We saw them for like a split second.
And I don't see why they would recast when they did perfully fine.
Yeah, actually, they were one of the best parts of the Lion King photorealistic movie.
All right, so that is what's coming out next. And then moving along in our live action lineup, we have Snow White.
We got a little bit more information about
the first Disney princess. Yes.
Very true. They had this whole segment at the very beginning that was talking about just the history of Snow White. The fact that, yes, she is the very first Disney princess. This is pretty much the first fully colored animated movie. And just how important Snow White is to the Disney legacy. It is what kicked off Disney's, rise to infamy.
They got a lot of awards for that movie. Yeah. So with that, they didn't give us too much. It was a quick kind of like a sizzle teaser, if you will. But we have already seen images of Rachel Zeckler as Snow White. If you saw her performance in the West Side Story film, you'll know that she is super talented. And I have no questions about her acting ability, her singing ability, and all of that. But we also know that Gal Gadot is cast as the evil queen, where when they first said that, I was like, oh, wait, I love this because she's supposed to be also fairest of them all.
Yeah.
And Gal Gadot is drop dead gorgeous. So...
But something that they did bring into, that they talked about, was what does it actually take to be the fairest of them all? Is it just looks? Is it just how pretty you are? but it's actually more your personality. How much are you, I mean, how much can you endure and still survive and be able to be strong? And I love the direction that they seem to be taking this. I really want to see Gal Gadot just play a straightforward villain.
I think she
nasty.
has so much fun in it.
She was even
she doesn't
talking
have to worry about love and justice as Wonder Woman. She's just like, I just get to be bad.
And the fact that she was like, you know, there were moments that I just stayed in character during the shoot, and everyone who knows me is like, are you okay? Is there anything we can do for you? Because they want Gal Gadot to be happy while she's on set, but she just had this, no, you can go away.
Yeah, and she sounded great. She looked great. So that got me pretty excited for it. So that is that, and we just got, you know, a quick sneak peek. But if you know the story of Snow White,
real quick, I want to go back to Ruru2's comment about Mufasa, is the fact that he does bring up, the Prince of Egypt story with lions. I'm like, you know, you could do that.
I'm gonna look
you
up the
could
Lion
pull
King.
that off, I think, to have that kind of a story with Mufasa and Scar, to where maybe at first they were kind of friends, and then something happens, and then Mufasa is the one who becomes king, and then
it just doesn't make sense to me that, you know what? Okay,
we will have.
I'm gonna
to
click on an
find
IGN
out.
article because that is the first thing that came up. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Let me see.
Oh, but
okay. IGN is saying it is Baby Mufasa.
Baby Mufasa.
Yeah.
Now, that's floating on the log.
Yeah. Just doesn't. Okay. Sure. How does he become the king?
I guess we'll have to wait until 2024.
It is like a Prince of Persia story.
In order to come out.
Okay.
Prince of Egypt.
Prince of Egypt. My words.
Oh no, trust me. It is one of those days that our brains are fried.
Yeah.
It's
taking a lot to do this live right now because my brain stopped working like 30 minutes ago. But we wanted to come on here and share all the info with you guys.
Yes. Rutu had one more.
Go ahead, and then we'll go into the Little Mermaid.
Oh, because Rutu brought up, if Gal Gadot, after you an apple will you eat?
Okay.
Okay, but what the comment made me think of. That comment
didn't make sense. What?
I think that I'm actually really interested in seeing what she looks like when she turns into
the hag.
I am really curious on when we're actually going to see, either in the trailer or we're going to see a picture of Gal Gadot in hag form.
Okay. The comment from Harutu was, if Gal Gadot offered you an apple, will you eat it?
Wow, I'm terrible at reading. That's
what I was like, you're not.
If Gal Gadot offered me anything, anything to eat, I'd probably eat it.
Why would you turn it down?
Yeah,
Gal Gadot.
All right, like, okay,
but
sure.
Also Gal Gadot as a person would never hand you a poison apple. Like that's just, I feel like not in her. You know, that's not a part of her persona. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and move on to The Little Mermaid. This was announced a long time ago.
Yes.
Some people love the casting choice. Some people don't love it. I think Ariel, it's a mermaid. So, anyways, The Little Mermaid is a childhood favorite of mine. I was obsessed with the animated movie where my mom had to buy me everything. Like, I begged for everything Little Mermaid. It had to be Disney's Little Mermaid. It couldn't be just any mermaid stuff, right?
Yeah, and like you're saying,
I had bed sheets. I have towels. I had chapstick. I had shampoo. I had the book that I took everywhere with me. It was like ratty by the time I was like done with it. And I had so many things. I was obsessed with The Little Mermaid. I had the cassette tapes because that's how old I am. When I grew up, we had cassette tapes, the VHS, all of that stuff. So
I actually have the original VHS case.
I had it, like the clamshell.
Yeah. But the one with the dirty tower on there.
Yeah, I had that too. My aunt gave it away.
And you're like, no!
I was like, no!
Do you know how much that's worth now?
Oh, well. Jay Master, thank you so much for your super chat. Writes, from Hollywood Reporter, Mufasa was actually an orphan cub who had to navigate the world alone by himself and found himself in the circle of life. Nice. Thank you so much for that confirmation. I will make sure I update the website so it doesn't have wrong information. The Little Mermaid is directed by Rob Marshall, and he did say on the panel that he felt that it was important, not just to him, but to everybody who worked on the movie, to honor the traditional story, the Disney one, the animated, but to also bring a little bit of reimagination to that as well, which makes sense. You know, we don't always need like a exact carbon copy of the animated classic, because then why do it? I think they really try to make it as like realistic as possible and less cartoony. So like, not, what's a good example? Like if you guys saw the latest Pinocchio remake, like not Cleo, right? It's not like a fish with a face on it. It's just like it's not Dory.
Yeah.
Or you know, Finding Nemo. Like it's a straight up fish, which was a little weird for me when I finally like spotted Flounder, because I was looking for the animated Flounder, and then I saw the actual
animated.
Yeah, and I was like, wait,
oh,
what?
Yeah, right.
What is
real
this?
Fish, real fish.
Yeah, it took us. My brain is still trying to readjust to that, but Rob Marshall had nothing but praises for Haley Bailey. I want to say Halle Bailey there. And we really didn't get to see any other characters.
No, we really only saw
in the
her.
trailer. Yeah, it wasn't even a trailer. Well, you guys got the trailer as well, but that was a really small, like just a segment of the film. We got to see the entire sequence of Part of Your World, and I didn't think that this was going to happen, and Dustin can attest to this. I boo-hooed real hard about halfway through, and I didn't realize I was crying. Oh no, I'm thinking about it. Don't do it.
Tears started.
Don't do it. Yeah. She sounded amazing. She brought a lot of emotion into that song. She was hitting all the right notes, just like how Jodie Benson did it in the original. Like she's doing it in the remake, and I am so happy it's her.
Yeah, she hit those notes perfectly, and on the places to where she could do a little bit more of her own personal touch. Mm-hmm. I think she added it perfectly.
Yeah.
And having her there, having her be able to talk about her experience, about how great the director was, and helping her. That this one scene they shot for 3 days.
That sequence took 3 days. Part of Your World took 3 days. And you guys, it looked really good. The movement of her hair in the water, I thought looked really good. I felt, because they showed us like a piece from a movie that's obviously unfinished.
Yeah.
I felt like there was some things that I saw that I was like, oh, I'm not sure, but it's so early that I really am not trying to judge, but I did want to, say like I caught a little bit of, I don't want to call it uncanny valley, because I don't think it's that.
But I know what you mean. Yeah, there were moments to where you were like, oh, okay, you could definitely tell like her fin and the way she's moving. There's obviously a lot of CGI going on there.
And the fin looks a little different as well, because they have to make it a little bit more dramatic, maybe more dramatic than the animated. It can't look like a carbon copy, so they made some changes, which I don't hate, but I thought the tail looked like, even for a fish tail, like too shiny. Yeah, I thought there was like a little like looked really slippery and shiny, but they have some time to work on it. But yeah, I'm ready to cry again when we get to see the movie.
And you know what?
It got me good.
I'm just really curious on how they're going to pull this off, because how much of that movie takes place underwater. Mm-hmm. And it looks really cool on how they're doing the underwater scenes.
Yeah. So now I'm even more curious to see, because we know Melissa McCarthy has been cast.
I'm curious to see what she brings, because honestly,
is she going to be purple?
Probably.
Like, are they going to, or like grayish? Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
They better. Honestly, they better. If they change her color, I'm going to be a little put out, because I want her to have that vibe to her. Yeah.
So Elliot says that teaser was amazing. The detail on her tail is beautiful. The iconic green with the rainbow effect. I did like the rainbow effect. Mm-hmm. It reminded me of a little bit like a beta fish.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was really pretty.
Oh, and something else is that she didn't have like the clamshell bra.
What does she have?
It was like scales.
That's smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's really smart. Yeah. And also, like, I feel like, and I thought this too when I was really a little girl and I saw the animated Ariel, and I was like, clamshells just don't feel comfortable to wear on your body, period. Like, why would you subject it? So I actually like that it's not that. It just look more natural and comfortable. Okay. Shall we move on from The
Yes.
Little Mermaid?
Because that is actually the last of these
Live
announcements,
action.
the live action announcements that they are making. And now we move into our Pixar's announcements.
Yes, and the first film that they talked about is Elemental, where the residents are elements fire, earth, water, and air. And we have two characters who are essentially complete opposites of each other. One is a fire element named, her name is Ember, and we have a water element named Wade. And how they basically, because they're so different in personality as well as element, because water can extinguish fire, and fire, if it burns too hot, can evaporate water.
Yeah, and also they showed in the animation that they showed the little, I don't know if you want to call it a clip because it really wasn't finished.
No, it was a lot of concept and work in progress stuff.
Mm-hmm. They showed also, fire can light plants can actually ignite plants.
They actually talked about how hard of a time the fire element has living in that community.
Yeah.
Because they can set the plant elements, like the earth elements, kind of on fire. If they were at an event where they do the wave and it's literally a wave of water, they have to kind of bring the umbrella out so they don't get extinguished. Something you don't think about as humans, because it's like we don't get extinguished if we get water on us. But the fire element, that's not so great for them.
But one thing that really hit home a lot about this was actually when the director was talking about his inspiration for this movie. He talked about his family. He talked about his dad owning coming from, where did they come from?
Korea.
Coming from Korea. Starting his own little grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed pictures of his family, of his dad, of his dad's shop. And I was just like, this is amazing. I love the fact that they are finding a way to tell a very American story, the American dream, in a sense. You come to America looking for a better life, and you work hard, you start up your own business, but yet you still feel like a fish out of water, so to speak, because you are in this world, you're in like a whole new world. And I just love the story. I really want to see it. And I'm excited because I think Wendy and I are very much Ember and Wade. And I'm really hoping to sit down and watch this and be like, oh my God, that's us. Oh, that's so cute.
I thought when I watched Inside Out and they introduced the character of Disgust, I was like, that's my spirit animal. And they're all green. Like all the animated characters that I picked, that speaks to me as my spirit animal. Toph from The Last Airbender, and Disgust, I was like, oh, they're all green. And then I saw Ember, I was like, oh, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
me.
I actually have a picture of, let me see if I can bring it up.
It'll be up on the website later, guys.
Okay, yeah. And it's also not a picture that we've seen before. I thought I had a different picture.
At the end of the panel, but we're going to show it to you now because we're talking about Elemental, they did gift us everybody at the panel, two posters, one of them being Elemental. There we go. So there is that's kind of
Elemental City.
The city that they live in. There's Wade and Ember. And then it says Elemental.
You need to be a little taller.
There you go. Yeah, I know.
And I have to admit, this is a nice poster. I really like this one because, one, it's big. Two, it's actually made out of really good stock.
Yeah.
It's not flimsy at all. And it just looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks really, really, really great. And we can't wait to see more from it. And also the director is Peter Sohn, who, if you watched Lightyear, he is the voice of Socks.
Which, honestly, if you guys saw Lightyear, Socks stole the show. There were so many times when I'm just like, there's the story going, and then there's Socks.
Yes.
Who just completely steals the show.
Yes. All right, let's talk about the next thing coming up from Pixar. This is not going into theaters. This is coming to Disney Plus, and it's called Win or Lose. So this is basically follows a middle school softball team called Pickles. The team's name is Pickles. And this show occurs, like each episode tells, like, it's basically recounts the week leading up to their championship game. So each episode takes place in the same week, but it highlights the perspective of a different character that are on the softball team. So it could be one of the players, it could be the coach,
it could be actually one of the umpires.
Yes. So what's really cool is they kind of talk about, and it explore. Pixar likes to do this. They kind of like to explore human behavior and emotions. So they do this thing where the characters put on their emotional armor, and they literally put on, it's obviously invisible to the eye, but they actually put on a suit of armor when they kind of find themselves in a situation that calls for said armor, where, you know, us as people, when we interact and we find ourselves in an awkward situation, we also put on that like tough exterior, that armor, like, oh, what you said didn't hurt me. It's fine. Just go over here. So it's interesting to see how that played out. Like, I wasn't too interested in Win or Lose until they showed us one of the scenes from it. It's so funny, and that's when I said, okay, I'm in.
And it looks adorable. And also, it still has that Pixar heart.
Yes.
And it looks like they're really exploring the idea of also perspective. How one day can be seen so many different ways, from so many different perspectives, and so many different personalities and different emotional stereotypes. Not stereotypes, but emotional types.
Yes. So look forward to that on Disney Plus fall of 2023. So about a year from now. And with that, we're going to go ahead and, oh, by the way, Will Forte is in the series. He plays Coach Dan, the voice of Coach Dan. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. I believe this is a film coming out in spring of 2024 called Elio.
Yes.
Elio.
Elio.
It has aliens, guys. It has aliens. So it follows an 11-year-old named Elio, who is very artistic. His mom,
who's an avid indoorsman, which I'm like, that's all. I like the way that they describe him.
I like that terminology.
An avid indoorsman, who actually is like kind of shy and inwardly drawn.
So, mom, whose name is Olga, runs a top secret military projects. Basically, she is working on decoding some strange signals that they're receiving from outer space. But who other than her son to beat her to it? And he is actually the one that makes the first contact with these outer space
these extraterrestrials. We don't even really see. We don't get to see what they look like.
Nope.
Because, well, it's okay. So the message that they end up getting sent to them is, bring us your leader. And they accidentally get Elio. So they think that Elio is the Earth's leader, and he has to try to overcome his feelings of not insignificance, but inadequacy, insecurities, and to kind of prove that humans are actually worth keeping around.
Yes.
And it looks like it's going to be very cute. It looks like it's going to continue that Pixar heart, and I'm really interested to see the animation in this. They showed us a few little clips and a few little still frames, but all of it, you could tell, was still a little, it's not finished yet, because this is still a long ways out.
Yes. But the concept sounds cute. And, you know, we're a big fan of Pixar animation, and we think they always do a bang-up job. So looking forward to all the titles coming up from Pixar. And with that, they ended the Pixar segment with the announcement that Inside Out 2 is coming. So the characters are back, but Riley is now a teenager, which means there's going to be new emotions. I actually don't know if they said it was new emotion or emotions. I have to.
Oh yeah, that new emotions are going to be a part of Riley's brain.
So there's going to be more than just the characters we met in Inside Out.
And also, when Inside Out 1 ended, the first thing that came to mind was, oh my gosh, it would be awesome if Inside Out 2 took place when she was a teenager. That is just the most obvious evolution of this story. And I'm excited that they said new emotions, because technically, as you get older, you do kind of develop more complex emotions.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see which one, like if the old emotions are going to transition a little bit to where they're newer emotions, or if we're just going to get brand new emotions that drop in.
I guess we will find out when Inside Out 2 gives us our first look, which is, this is just announced, so they really had nothing to show us, but I'm happy to hear the announcement. And that ends the Pixar portion, and we're on the final leg of the presentation with Walt Disney Animation. Starting off with Zootopia Plus for Disney Plus. It's going to be 6 episode series, and they're each kind of like I don't know if they're a short story, but it's an individual, it's not like episodic. It's all within the world of Zootopia, but it focuses on specific characters like the Godfather, like the mice,
and
sloths,
the weasel, the
yes.
sloths. And it seems like they're going to be more short stories.
Yes.
Because it's like what I think it's like Dinner Date with the sloths, and it's them slowly.
It was called Dinner Rush. Or Diner Rush.
That's
or
what
something
it was.
like that. That was really funny. There's like a play on word for You Think You Can Prance. Which was Shakira's character, the Giselle.
Yeah.
Like essentially it's kind of like a judge on a So You Think You Can Dance type of a reality show. So things like that, they kind of, take a modern or a well-known pop culture piece of media and they kind of, I feel like, use it in that.
As inspiration for this one short story.
Yes. Okay, moving on. This is also coming to Disney Plus, and this is called, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, and I'm so sorry. It is called Iwaju. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's going to be all new original long form series that is created with Pan-African Comic Entertainment Company, Kugali. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly as well, who came on stage to talk about how excited they are to work on this project, to show everybody, their hometown Africa, where they grew up. And the stories inspire that. So that's really, really exciting. Visually, it looked stunning. I think you have a photo of
Yeah, it's not that good of a photo because my phone wasn't able to take very good pictures. But I have
a coming
to
of age
admit,
story.
I love the idea of this story. This takes place in a futuristic not even a future. I don't think it's a futuristic world, and it tells the story of 2 different like towns in this one big city that is separated, and you have kind of like you're rich and you're poor. The story just seems so fun, so complex, and it's more along the lines of this one heiress, this young coming of age heiress, and
her friend who is like an inventor,
a self-taught machine genius.
From the other side of from the other part of the country.
And the futuristic tech looks amazing. The animation looks amazing. The story sounds fresh and new. And I am, because they talked about the 2 adversaries in this, and one was a crime boss.
Yeah.
And the other one, what was the other one?
I didn't write it down, so I'm going to have to look through the Disney notes.
But it's how these 2 and their rivalry are affecting the world, and how it's what the 2 kids have to do in order to kind of survive and live in it. And I'm just like, this is an amazing sounding story. And they have, of course, the Merch character, which is this little salamander kind of.
It reminded me of like from Frozen.
Yes.
A little bit, but
Frozen 2,
it's robotic. It's an invention. So it like does there's a bunch of tricks, in that little pet. So that was really cool to see. So I'm looking forward to, stories like this, original stories like this is what excites me for like what's coming next.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's really, really exciting. Let's go ahead and move on to, we got 2 more left. This next one, it's called Strange World. I feel like they've been teasing, we've seen images for Strange World and they have like a little activation photo op area on the convention floor at D23 for this movie. So this is directed by Don Hall and Ki Wen, I think is how you say their name. And it's a story about an incredible family who must get past their differences to save a strange world full of danger and surprises. And it's the 3 main characters. I mean, there's a lot of characters, but the 3 main characters, it's 3 generations of the same family.
Yes. So you have the grandfather, the father, and the grandson. And the grandfather is a great adventurer, and he's going off and exploring. He's actually an explorer by profession. his son, who was kind of like, oh my gosh, my dad is just an insane explorer. He gave me a machete for my 2nd birthday.
Yes.
Don't you think that was a little inappropriate to give a 2-year-old? Well, no. And then you have the grandson who is
just
looking
like
at,
wide eye, like, wow, Grandpa's so cool. And his dad's like, no, he's not. Be quiet. Don't say that too loud. How embarrassing. The cast is pretty phenomenal. Jake Gyllenhaal, Dennis Quaid, Lucy Liu, Gabrielle Union, Jabuki White Young, I think is the name. So that just looks
really fun.
Really young white, sorry.
And we actually did get a poster when we went out of the panel, and this, I just love the colors and the way that this movie is going to look.
These are our characters right there.
And Lucy Liu just plays this president character.
She's so
and
funny.
She looks like she's just playing this powerhouse of a personality.
As she should.
Mm-hmm. To where she's almost kind of like barbarian president. To where she looks like she's just like rough and tumble, and she's
the kind of leader that like she's kind of like, I'm not just gonna sit here and give orders. I'm gonna go out and fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'll be in the front lines.
Yes, she's a warrior and a leader. So that's the next big thing coming from Disney Animation. This is a theatrical release, so it's going to open this year, actually November 23rd. So not that far away. So get ready to see a ton of marketing for this, I imagine, once D23, now that the panel's over, you're going to start, I think, seeing a lot of trailers and marketing material for that. And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this live with the final project from Disney Animation. This won't come out until 2023, fall of 2023, and it's called Wish, which I feel like that title is so well fit for Disney.
Yeah, because this is really what they were trying to focus on for their 100th, their 100th year. Yes. There's the celebration of Disney's centennial. Mm-hmm. And this is just a brand new announcement. They really didn't have much to show us, but they showed us some stills. They showed us a little bit of the character design and a little bit of the idea and story. And of course, they brought out one of the actors that is going to be playing a goat.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. So this is all set in the Kingdom of Rosas. And I want to talk about the animation style really quickly. They mix kind of that classic paint watercolor style, but mix that with the 3D animation that we've all seen, like from Frozen and Moana. So that makes it really interesting visually to see that. When I showed it on the big screen, I was like, whoa, this is really interesting. And it follows a 17-year-old Asha, where she makes a wish to help protect the king. Without getting into too much, well, I guess we should just talk about it.
She discovers she lives in this utopian society, but she finds out that there is some darkness. They did not tell us what. Some darkness that she discovers, and she gets so desperate to help that she makes a desperate wish that comes true.
Yeah, there's a little energy, a star. She manifested it into to come down and help her. And I tell you, when I saw it, so the star doesn't talk. So, it's kind of like the magic carpet where it speaks through pantomiming and, movement. And they just showed a little scene with the star. And I think I said to Dustin, I want that.
They're going to have a ton.
The merch is going to be insane.
Merch for this character. It's going to be cute. It's going to be adorable, and it is just going to sell a lot of toys.
Yes, and another character that's probably going to sell a lot of merchandise is what Dustin was alluding to earlier, voiced by Alan Tudyk, the goat named Valentino. Now, the goat it's not a magical goat. It doesn't start off the movie like, hey, hi, hello, how are you? It's just a regular goat, but the goat also wished upon a star when it met the star and wished in his own way for the ability to communicate. And all of a sudden, poof, it can talk. It's a talking goat. It's a talking fainting
The
goat.
talking fainting goat. And I love, because they did show a little bit of test animation with Alan Tudyk's voice in it. And there's this moment where the goat gets startled and he gets like all stiff and like roll, like, what is that? Like, not passes out, but faints.
Yes.
And it is hilarious to see him kind of talk through the struggle. And he's like, well, this is just a condition that happens.
Yes. So the movie is going to be a musical. It has all new original songs written by Julia Michaels, who wrote all the songs for the movie. And to kind of close out the presentation, they brought out the voice actress who is playing our heroine, Asha. It is the one and only Ariana, but that's 2 West Side Story actors in Disney projects. So she will be the talking and singing voice for Asha. And she closed out the show by singing one of the songs from the film called More for Us. It is incredible. It was really incredible to witness that live. Like, we opened the show with Cynthia Erivo, and then we closed it out with Ariana DeBose. It's insane, the talent that we got to witness today. So that was a lot of fun. And that essentially closes out the entire showcase for Friday.
And look at this. It took us an hour just to kind of speed through.
And we sped through this. Yeah, because we got to go eat, guys.
Yes.
We're hungry.
And we still need to do some editing, and we still need to get some stuff done.
Yes.
But we wanted to talk to you guys about this because it was so much fun to be at D23. We wanted to share our experience with you. We wanted to share the things that we saw. And I'm gonna try to put as much of it up on our Instagram as possible.
So make sure you follow all of that you see below.
All of those socials.
Yes.
Because that's where we're going to post a lot of our stuff.
Yes, and make sure you subscribe to the channel too, because tomorrow, some way, somehow, after the Marvel Lucasfilm panel, we're going to find a spot with hopefully good enough Wi-Fi to live stream and talk to you guys, just like we're doing right now, about what we saw, everything we learned from the Marvel / Lucasfilm panel.
Yeah, and if we don't find a good place, we may have to, rush home and do something like this to where we're setting it up. But we are going to talk to you guys about all the cool stuff that we see at the Marvel panel tomorrow.
One question before we leave out of here. Robo Striker 101 writes, "Hi Wendy and Dustin, huge fan of your channel. Hello, thank you." They put a little "you got this" emoji. What Marvel project are you most excited about for tomorrow's panel? So I've stayed really far away from fellow friends who are also creators on this platform who have had theories about what is coming. Namely, I would say, sorry, don't kill me, Greg. I haven't watched the Rejects channel, but I know Warner from Cosmic Wonder has put up like things that he thinks we might have announcements for tomorrow's Marvel / Lucasfilm panel. And we were kind of talking about it, and I was like, wait, if you know anything, or if you heard rumors of whatever, don't tell me. I don't want to know. And actually I ran into Soups today right before the panel, and he's like, "Oh, what do you think about like," he was just asking, he didn't say anything, and I was like, I don't know what I don't want to know. So he was like, okay, I won't say anything, even if he knows, like, and again, nothing's confirmed, right? We're all just kind of going based off
just nerdy
theories and like people like, rumor from
we're Mephistoing
right now. So I know not much of anything other than maybe, because I saw this on Twitter and her name was trending, Jodie Comer potentially is maybe going to play Sue Storm, which I would 100% love because I love her acting.
And also, you know what? That's one of the big things that
don't you guys put spoilers in the chat.
What we are anticipating, we're going to get some more information about Fantastic Four. I want to know when X-Men are going to show up in the MCU. I'm excited to learn more about how many Kangs are we going to get, because we know there's going to be a couple of them. Yeah. I'm just so excited to find out the future of the MCU tomorrow.
So I am looking forward to what projects are you most excited? I mean, obviously Wakanda Forever is one to definitely look forward to, but we have already been excited about that. So I would say like casting announcement and them Kevin Feige filling in some more of that timeline that they showed us at D20 at Comic-Con.
Kind of hope that they don't fill in all of it, because that still leaves that give me more.
Tell us Mephisto is coming.
Yes, exactly. Give us a little
Oh,
joke.
man.
Like, what is
Yeah.
it for? Oh, I think it was back in 2018
Mm.
when they had the Marvel panel at Comic-Con, and they were like, "Oh yeah, and our new Captain America movie is going to be Serpent Society," and everyone was like, "What? No, we're kidding.
That
It's
never
going to be
happened.
Civil War."
Yeah. I mean, I look forward to trailers for Secret Invasion, Secret Wars.
See, well, we won't get a trailer for Secret Wars,
It's too far.
but with Secret Invasion,
Invasion,
that's a definite because
looking
they
forward
showed
to
that at
that.
Comic-Con. Maybe some more info about Daredevil.
I think they're gonna announce Shang-Chi too. I don't know why. Maybe just because I want it, so I'm trying to manifest it. But Shang-Chi 2 will be cool. I think we are gonna get casting announcements for Fantastic Four.
That makes sense.
I would love to hear Deadpool 3. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. What else? Maybe some X-Men news, but I would love it. I just feel like it's still too early.
Yeah.
But I would 100% love it.
Yep.
So yeah.
Same here.
All right.
I want to know. I want to know when the X-Men are showing up.
Yes.
But it's all just waiting for Kevin Feige to let us know.
Yeah. So tomorrow, 10 a.m. That is 10 a.m. PT. That is when the panel starts. So go ahead and follow us on specifically Instagram because like Dustin is updating that one. If you want to try to get live updates, my Twitter, Wendy Lee Zaney, is the one to go to. And just pray and help manifest good signal because the signal in there today was absolute poop. And it was hard to get half the tweets out because they weren't going out. All right, guys, that is it for us. I'm gonna go and cook dinner and get ready to just recharge, refresh for tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by, and we will see you tomorrow whenever it is that we do the live, sometime after the Marvel panel. All right, love you guys, and see you soon.
We will see you later.
Bye.